Yeah.
What's up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take MLB DFS podcast. I'm your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I'm joined once again by the Triple OG, Mr. Patio Joe, Triple OG Patio Joe. And you can find him on Twitter at Patio Joe Ref. Patio, my man. How was your weekend, bro? You had a good weekend, didn't you?
Well, I had a good weekend. I had a really good Friday playing DFS. I didn't play this weekend because my wife was out of town with my oldest son, and so I was left at home with the twins. So I wanted to play, but I'm a big believer in if you have something else that's going to sway your attention. When it comes to baseball, it's okay to take days off. So, we just was the twins from about, I don't know, they woke up at 7 o'clock on Saturday. We went to the beach on Saturday, and then I'm thinking my wife is going to get home at 12 o'clock today with her flight, and then she texts me at about 9:15 that her flight gets canceled. Ooh. So now she's got to drive from Arizona, Phoenix to LA, which is 6 hours. So now, I thought I was going to have a nice, relaxing afternoon. I might have been able to play the afternoon slate.
Some afternoon play.
And then it just went all downhill. And I basically had to, think of something to do with the twins for a few hours. I took them on their second walk, took them to it's just, I'm working on my tan, so it's good. I was out in the sun and everything. So, but don't worry. Next weekend, nation, I'm going to be out of town, so I'm going to have my fun. So you know how that is. So.
Oh, man. And that's... You did really well on Friday. That was all I was alluding to, man. Right? You did,
Friday was
cleaned up.
Friday was awesome. We had my cash game was, I put them in probably about 10 tournaments, and it finished in first, second, or third in every one of the tournaments. Yeah. It scored 192 points, and then I had another team, a separate GPP team that finished third in a. Remember we were talking? I was like, "Look at this tournament! It was $33, 106."
Oh yeah,
and I was like,
the 12-bit wasn't good enough anymore for my cash games. It's no longer good. But you were right though.
I entered 33.
Yeah.
And I finished third in that, and then I actually did enter the 12, and I finished fourth in that with my cash game. Yeah. So those two lineups alone was a very, very nice Friday night, and it was a good ROI and a great start to the season.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's definitely nice. It's definitely nice to have baseball here. Speaking of which, we have what games?
9 games.
9 games on April Fool's Day, April 1st. So this is kind of an interesting. When David Price is the leader of almost any slate. I know he did get a little bit better last year, but when David Price is the leader, is he the most expensive on FanDuel also? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know you're in for a wild night. You just know it. You just know you're in for a wild night. What are your overall thoughts? Just we took a couple minutes and glanced. What do you think, Joey?
Mm-hmm. Well, my overall thoughts is it's one of these slates where a lot of the public will just go to the top guy just because it's the top guy and not really do their research or what have you. And I found on slates like this, when everybody is priced under 10K, I pick the chalkiest guy and I stack against them. It's just, and I know it's weird, but it works more times than not, because people are going to go to Price just because it's the Red Sox, and he's the highest guy up on the board. And I just think it's a place where you could get rocked. This Boston relief staff has already been taxed. They've been getting crushed because the starters haven't been lasting that long. So I just can imagine another spot where, Chris Davis hits a bomb and it just keeps rolling, and I on nights like this, I've been willing to just pay down and get the bats that I want. Yeah. and go to war like that, because there's a couple guys down below that I think are really, really tempting.
Well, would you play him in cash?
David
Yeah.
Price? No,
Yeah, no.
no, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not doing it. I don't think that he's only pitched like 6 or 7 innings in all of spring.
Yeah.
So how stretched out is
Yeah.
he? And I look at the other guys on the slate, and I'm telling you, the guy that I'm going to probably lock in, and I'm going to probably have to be told something else that he's going to be on a pitch count or something, is Julio Urias.
Yeah.
I might be all in on him. I texted Paulie earlier today. I'm like, if I know that Urias has got 80 to 100 pitches or 6 innings, I'll be all in against this terrible Giants lineup.
Yeah.
And I just feel like he had a great spring. He's already pitched against the Giants too. He had a couple good starts in his 2 years ago against them. So he has some history against these guys. And I look at these Giants lineup. I don't even know half of these guys' names, let alone if they're any good. So to me, Urias right now on first look is the guy that I really think he'll get you. He'll go 6 innings.
Yeah.
He'll get 6 to 8 strikeouts, a quality start, and a W.
Yeah.
And on a night like this, that will afford you to get these stacks that we're going to talk about, because these stacks, there's a lot of stacks tomorrow night that you can go to.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. On DraftKings, you're like there's like some pretty big price discrepancies on specifically 2 players. I mean, we'll find out the rest. I mean, I guess technically even Pomeranz, maybe even 3, but one of those players is this guy, right? What is he, like 7? How much? 7.2.
7,200.
Yeah, he's 87 on DraftKings. So I agree with you. The Giants, like, we're starting to learn there are a few teams already that we're starting to see you can pretty much stream pitchers against them going forward, and you're good with at least some type of floor, and you're always given the possibility of a ceiling because of how bad they are. And one of those teams seem like the Giants, right? Like, they're just like offensively anemic right now. So I think that that makes a lot of sense. But of course, if you're paying 8.7 on a site where you do need 2 pitchers, you need to know what this guy's doing. But on the other hand, Joe, like you said about David Price, you don't necessarily know what he's doing either. Like you said, he's thrown 6 2/3 innings in spring training, and then he was supposed to do something where like he was going to throw an inning in like like the Seattle series, but he got sick. So I'm starting to wonder, okay, he's got a bunch of bullpen sessions. It's still not the same thing as like actually pitching. Even in spring training, people laugh it off, but it's giving pitchers, a batter in front of you, a competitive, enough environment. Like I think it's fairly important for some pitchers, especially a pitcher like David Price, who's been really unstable over the last couple of years, right? So I'm with you, man. Like I don't want to do. I don't ever remember where like David Price was like the most expensive pitcher on the slate in the chalk, and he actually he actually did well. I just don't. I like the Urias call, but the other guy that's got a big price discrepancy. We'll talk about some of the other ones, but the other one, while we're talking about the price discrepancy, Matt Strahm, the lefty from the Padres, right? He is how much on FanDuel, Joey?
He's 6,400 on FanDuel.
He's 9,200 on DraftKings. 9,200. There's and he's another one where we don't really know. I know that we're trying to stretch him out in spring training towards the end, but we don't actually know. Like, do they consider him stressed out enough to let him go? You know what I mean? And then I'm just saying, man. Like, some of the discrepancies are just like crazy. Any thoughts on Strahm?
Yeah, I like him more in a GPP setting, like of like maybe a pivot off of Urias if you want to go somewhere else. I love, both my best lineups have come from paying down at pitcher and getting the batters in, at least this year so far. Yeah. And most of the time, it just historically, just the way it works. If you can find that pitcher, at 6,400 on FanDuel, how much does he really need? Right. 35.
Right.
You'll be happy with that. Sure. And it's all about like what frustrates me is I don't feel like he's any more stretched out than Lucchesi was. Right. And on Friday night, I think it was, Lucchesi he only was at like 85 pitches or 80 pitches. He was throwing a shutout. He threw 5 1/3 innings, Like he gave up a single and they pulled him. It was like right before he was going to get the QS, they pulled him. So it's like that's just the only thing that leaves me for pause with Stram.
Yeah.
With Urias, I said I like one of the major reasons why I like Urias too is because if you've been following the Dodgers, on Friday night they played a 13-inning game, so taxed the bullpen there. And then today, Buehler only went 3 and like a third, or they didn't even get a run around the fourth. So he went 3 innings, and they went to the bullpen in the 4th inning. So I'm thinking they have to have him go 6 innings today. They don't want this bullpen already taxed in the first week of the season already. It's already shown cracks. I mean, there's no way the Diamondbacks almost won 2 of 4 against the Dodgers this weekend. So that's another reason why I like Urias is because the bullpen of the Dodgers is very tired so far.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The other thing about Stram, well, I'm not into a different conversation, but if you are considering the pivot on FanDuel, I don't mind considering it, but just looking at the projected lineup for the Diamondbacks, it will be pretty right-handed heavy. It should be pretty right-handed heavy, and there are players in here that are a little tougher to strike out. I think Stram's got some good stuff, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he can't do it. But when you have opponents who don't strike out as easy or as often, they're typically, even if they do strike out, they're usually the ones who are going to stretch a count out a little bit, raise pitch counts up. So if they're already kind of monitoring, I could understand the risk there. On FanDuel, I'm starting to wonder, man, because there's a lot of cheap pitchers over there. Like, is David Price going to be the chocolate guy? Because there are options if you're willing to risk it. Like, yeah, you're kind of rolling the dice on everybody, but at the end of the day, you're rolling the dice on David Price too because he hasn't pitched much and he was sick and you don't really know what's going on with him. So it's just he's expensive, so it's like the algorithm tells you, okay, he should be the safest, and it's like, but that's a big discrepancy in price between these other dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. It's crazy the way that it's just that's why I think stack against Price tomorrow. Yeah. Like it's to me, I'm gonna at least have one A stack.
Yeah.
Chapman, Piscotty, Davis.
Yeah, no.
So
no, I'm with you. We also have an interesting matchup. We've got the New York Mets, my beloved New York Mets. Steven Matz. How much is Matz on FanDuel, Joey?
He's 8.2.
Okay, he's 8.3 over here. Very, very, very similar. How much is Caleb Smith, the Marlins pitcher?
7.4.
He is 7.6. Okay, so they're in agreement here with this game. This is an interesting matchup, right? Marlins have been terrible offensively. The Mets have been doing the small ball thing for the most part. Peter Alonso's looks really good. But we saw them. They played Corbin today. Corbin was kind of cruising, and then he kind of just collapsed at one point. But he was kind of cruising for a little bit. The Marlins have been one of those teams where you can just kind of take guys against. We saw Gray. Gray got beat up, got hurt, still ended up putting up 26 DraftKings points. We know the Mets last year were very, very bad against lefties. They did bring in some guys, J.D. Davis, Wilson Ramos. They got Peter Alonso up, all right-handed bats that are supposed to help them with lefties. So where are you leaning here? Like you like one or the other?
If I was pitching one of them, I'd pitch Matz, and I would stack against Caleb Smith. Just because I think these the Mets, they win 2 or 3 or
they won 2 or 3 against the Nationals.
So they have a mojo right now, So I would if I was playing one of those teams, I would definitely go the Mets side tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you on a bat perspective. I agree that if I'm gonna take bats here, it's gonna be I'll either stay away from Mets. Oh, but with Caleb Smith, it's okay, if I'm not into you, then I will stack against you. Because if I'm not into you, I'm thinking that, okay, the additions of Peter Alonso, J.D. Davis, Wilson Ramos is going to make a difference. And, you're a fly ball pitcher, and so I want some upside out of you. But the pitching decision is, I'm curious to see how much the Mets improve, if at all, against lefties off last year, right? Last year was money. Them against a lefty, you're guaranteed at least 8 or 9 strikeouts. It was money. But this year they have these little changes, and they as a team they've never really been a big strikeout team except for against lefties. But again, those are some of the guys they brought in. Even guys like Robinson Cano, lefty on lefty, is still tough to strike them out. So I don't know. Like, I think Smith carries more upside, right? Because if the Mets do show signs of that strikeout upside they showed last year, then Caleb Smith's got like a lot of K upside. Matz's K upside is somewhat limited, and Matz has been very inconsistent in spring. I don't know what to expect, but the Marlins, like we said, Joe, the Giants, the Marlins, and there's a couple of other ones out there. They've been like automatic. It's just you take a picture against them and you're fine. It's like, I don't know, man.
It seems real easy this year where the discrepancies where we know where we want to go and we know who we want to pick on, at least early right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What about, like, it's funny because, like, in DraftKings, a lot of these guys are high priced and you really don't know. Like, Brad Peacock, how much is Brad Peacock on FanDuel?
He's like 7.6.
7.6. He's like 7.9 over here. So, like, on DraftKings,
he's got some major strikeout upside. That guy. He so does. It's just a matter of how long he's gonna go.
But that's like the common theme to all these pitchers so far. It's just a matter of, it's like we're playing basketball. I don't know how many minutes he's gonna get today. It all depends on the minutes. Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like that's like basically what we're.
Yeah, the guys that would start that is gonna go wise. You don't really want to pitch them tomorrow just because they're not in great matchups like Hendricks or Newcomb. Right. I kind of want to stay away from the pitchers in that game. So
no. I totally agree. The guys that are stable, like Chad Bettis against the Rays. You know what I'm saying? And like even on like the other side of the Houston game, like is Smiley, right? Where is that?
Yeah,
Drew Smiley.
Oh no! We'll get to stats.
Fair enough, man. I mean, I'm looking on this list and like I think we've talked about the majority of the people. Like, okay, let's talk about the Hendricks Newcomb situation. Let's talk about this. So like you said, we know Hendricks is in the rotation, like regular starter. We know Newcomb is. Problem is these are two teams that are very tough to strike out, especially the Braves, right? And these are two pitchers that like aren't really guys you like to stack against all that much because no matter what the stats tell you, they end up getting their way out of it. So it is a good ballpark though at the same time for hitting.
For lefties, yeah, for sure, especially for righties throwing. Right. Yeah, but it's almost like it's one of those games where there's so many other spots. Yeah. I'll just cross it off. You don't need to go there in any way, pitching or hitting tomorrow. There's other plays. You might looking at it first look. Yes, you could play Albert Almora in cash if he's leading off against a lefty. I'll always take that. It doesn't matter. If you want to take Freddie Freeman at home against a righty, I will always take that because it's Freeman Field. They basically built it for him. Yeah. I'll take that, but it's not like there's nothing where it's like you have to have this player tomorrow at all. Yeah,
except for Javi Baez. That guy is a monster, bro. Yeah. Javi Baez is a monster. He like last year he did for him to start off the way he did this year. After what he did last year, I was just like gangster. Yelich too. Shout out to Yelich, man. Dude is a freak. Like, he just come out here like, yes, it's not a fluke. Yes, I am that damn good. I think I'm with you on the pitching. I don't know if I need it. Right? Like Hendricks is like a guy that you typically consider safe, but what's safe really in a tournament? Not good enough. Sean Newcomb, we've seen it, but like my thing about Sean Newcomb was when I look at his actual stuff, I don't see anything particularly special that tells me that once teams start to see him, once he's around the league for a couple of years, he's not going to start getting hit. Like, I don't really see the electric stuff that, like, we know when he first came up. And it's not like he ever had tremendous strikeout upside. It's like an occasional thing. It's not like a consistent, he's going to go out there and get 10, 11 strikeouts a game. It's just not how it is. He's been another one of them dudes kind of gets by and, pitches his way out of situations and doesn't give up a ton of hard contact. But at the same time, these are two really good offenses. Two really good offenses, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I just kind of cross it off.
Just cross it off, man. Let's go. Is there any other pitchers you want to hit on, or can we talk about the stacks now?
Nobody really and I'm going to consider first look.
So
no.
So let's start off by talking about some of these stacks. So I would assume that Toronto, who has been chalked for how many days now and busted how many days now, once again appear to be the team with I think that they have the highest projected team total right now. I think, they're higher than the Astros, higher than the Dodgers, 5.2 against the Orioles. David Hess, who's had success against Toronto. I think on 2 out of 3 games he played him last year, he did really, really well, David Hess. But David Hess has had a horrific spring. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but it was horrific. I think I posted the numbers in our Slack chat, or the Y-Stake Slack chat. And I posted a screenshot of it in MLB chat, but it was like horrific. He was really, really looking bad. But the Blue Jays, are you gonna? Can you the Blue Jays? First of all, did the Blue Jays burn you at all? Did you have any lineups that fell victim to the Blue Jays?
On Friday night, the team that finished third, there was a Blue Jay stack with the Cardinal stack, so it was with Goldie, so it kind of like glossed it over. Yeah. So, yeah, you're just waiting for them to break out because the numbers say that here it comes. But yeah, I don't. There's just other stacks I like better. I think the thing is that you look at them, they're affordable. Yeah. Like their top 4 guys, you can like fit them in and then fit another stack around it. That's why they're really popular. You got Drury, Grichuk, Teoscar, and Smoke, and the highest one's 3.6 in Smoke. Yeah. So that's why, because they could put a higher end pitcher with them. Right.
It's funny too because like everybody talking about the Blue Jays, they suck. They get rid of some of these guys, and like we want to see the young guys play. We want to see Teoscar Hernandez and some of these other dudes. And I'm just sitting here and just like, that's cool, but you realize, but you just know that they're going to strike out a little bit more. Like, it's going to happen, and then you get what happens when you get Matt Moore, Matt Moore going against Toronto and just completely shutting you down, just destroying your world. They did come back. I don't remember. I think they won the game, or maybe not. But either way, Matt Moore just destroyed these guys, and the strikes, everything. It was just a disaster. So I know a lot of people today were burnt by Blue Jays chalk. So will they go back? 5.2 total. David Hess looked terrible. I don't know. I would assume they're going to be popular. Let's be real. They're the highest team total on the slate. People are going to go back again, right? Like I just don't see people choosing. I don't think that mentality wins out of like, oh, they burnt me twice. I think most people are going to be like, well, they're projected for 5.2 runs. So.
They're due.
Yeah, they're due. That's what it is. They're due. They're due. That's what it would be if you're in the sportsbook hanging out. That's what you got. Some old guy coming up with a newspaper. They're due. They're due. No, I'm with you. The next highest projected team is the Astros, Joe. And when I mentioned Drew Smiley earlier, you look like you got a little excited there, Joey. So I'm going to let you tell me.
I mean, I think that they're going to be the chalk stack. Now, the righties, I mean, just if you can, I mean, especially with like Urias, bring it Altuve, Bregman. Oh, that's a good start. I'll take that. Like we'll look more, we'll dig more into it. But I mean, Bregman might be one of the top plays on the slate, or Altuve. It's like there's times where it's good to play Altuve because there's playing second base, and it's just there's not that very many second basemen. But I love it. Tomorrow, I think it's the first time I really feel confident playing the Astros, especially if they get in their bullpen. And then, there's the Astros are probably my top stack as of right now. But then probably number 2, in my opinion, you got to look at the Mariners as a team that they've just been murdering. And now they're coming in against Chris Stratton. And I am surprised that the Angels are a favorite. Like, I just don't understand what the Mariners have done to warrant to be an underdog tomorrow night.
That is crazy. That's how much disrespect is on the shoulders of Felix Hernandez. That's what that is. Yeah, that's completely like that's just disrespectful to him.
Yeah, Jesus, he ain't dead. And then you got the Red Sox going up against this guy Aaron Brooks. I mean, it sounds like. I think Aaron Brooks. I think of the guy from Shawshank Redemption, the guy that hung himself, the old guy Brooks. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And Red Sox are pissed. They've been knocked around 3 of the 4 games. They had to come back in one of the games. Yeah. And then finally you got the Dodgers where they're going to throw out their right-handed heavy lineup. But once they get Pomeranz out of the game, then it's like it doesn't really matter at that point. Bellinger's got 4 home runs already. I'm a little bit upset that Kike's price is at 3.3. That's just upsetting. So, but yeah, I think those are probably, those are my 4 stacks I'll be looking at just to start off. Astros, Red Sox. Well, we'll have the A's. We already talked about the A's. We're just going to do it because Price is.
Yeah, if Price is chalky, I'm not saying that amongst my bunch of teams I wouldn't have Price in like a hedge position. But yeah, I think that like if I decide I don't, and we have to look into this stuff. Obviously, we're talking on top of our head. We have to actually dig into this stuff tomorrow. But if David Price ends up chalk and everything looks like I find what I'm looking for there, if I don't like David Price, then yeah, absolutely, Joe. Why wouldn't we stack against him? Knowing that, like, even if he's not the chalk of the slate, because of how bad the pitching is, because a lot of people are just instinctually going to just pay up because they're so used to just paying up no matter what, that you can gain a lot of leverage. So we'll have to see how that situation pans out. But yeah, I the A's are could be a sneaky one. One of those teams, not a projected high total. Let's see what the total moves. I'll be curious to see the way the line moves on this one. I know. But, Aaron Brooks gets the Red Sox.
Yeah. Who is he? Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I will say this. I'm going to dig really hard into this Cubs-Atlanta situation because, number one, the pitching prices aren't that bad in comparison to the risk I am taking elsewhere. So if I go with some of these other guys, I'm still taking a risk because I don't know what their pitch counts are. With these guys, my risk is, like we said, more in the matchup and the ballpark and things like that. So there's something here. You know what I mean? I think there's something in this game that I want. Well, I know there's one thing in this game I want. That is Javi Baez. You know what I mean? Beastin'. He's expensive. How much is Javi over there? See that crazy expensive?
4.5.
Javi is 5-1 over here. He's a yeah.
What about the Padres tomorrow? I mean, they've been kind of disappointing, so to speak, the first couple days when it comes to hitting. They're facing this guy Merrill Kelly. I mean, let's get going here, Padres.
Well, they refused to play my man Hunter Renfroe against a lefty.
He was playing against righties now for some reason.
I don't know.
The alt weren't around. Maybe if they can move Tatis up in the lineup too, that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is a organization that threw a lot of money at Manny Machado, at what is it? Will Myers. I think they threw a lot of money at Eric Hosmer, right?
Hosmer.
Hosmer. Threw some money at these guys. So let that sink in. As we discuss splits. Lefty-righty splits and not understanding the choice the San Diego Padres make. Let's just consider that for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, All right, so, all right, we're gonna do some Dong Watch. Pick some home runs.
Bomb Patrol.
Hold up.
Bomb Patrol.
Wait, what? Bomb Patrol?
Bomb Patrol.
Did you come up with that just now? Because before the show, you were saying ball control. You were definitely saying
Bomb Patrol. That's what I meant. Bomb Patrol. Dude, who's on Bomb Patrol tonight? I don't know. I'm trying to find another name. Bomb Watch or something.
For an article, I wouldn't be opposed to the word bomb. But I'm thinking for a podcast, if a dude's on a plane and his buddy's nudging him and he's just like, hey man, listen to the Bomb Patrol. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, hold up.
Why is being investigated by the FBI?
That's what I'm saying, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a lot better than Ball Patrol.
Yes. Maybe we could do a contest with the nation. You win a week pass or something, and who comes up with the best name for a homer call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Paulie D just texted me a smooth one. I just saw it pop across to the top of my screen. And then I immediately forgot it because my short-term memory is awful. Jack City.
Yeah.
That's not. I like that. I like that smooth, right? That's like not FBI looking into worthy. That's like Jack City, man. You can take it whatever you want. New Jack City was a great movie. So, all right. Dong Watch. Anyway, we can call it Jack City.
Why not?
Jack City.
Why not?
Let's take us so in NBA we have value now. We take you down to Value Town. So now we got a city to take you to. We got a city in baseball, and it is Jack City. You know what I mean? I like it. All right. Home runs. Who you got?
So, by the way, I really think that I was looking at Drew Smiley right now. I don't even think he pitched in 2018.
No, I don't think he did last year. He was hurt for a while.
Yeah, so that says a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Alex Bregman.
All right, I'm taking Javi Baez. Big surprise. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Chris Davis.
Oh, you bastard! With a crush. Oh yeah, with a crush Davis, right? A's. Yeah. There's no chance you possibly make Orioles, right? I'm gonna go with his teammate Matt Chapman. That's what I'm gonna do. Live life on the edge a little bit there. What do we got?
AJ Pollock.
Ooh, AJ Pollock. Do I? Nah, can't do it. I was gonna go to Blue Jay. Can't do it. Just can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Let's go with George Springer. Let me take one of your boys, man. George Springer from Houston. Let's do that. All right. So I guess the next thing we'll do is, real quick, just do like 3 or 4 players. Cash game build for FanDuel. Cash game build for DraftKings. Just to kind of see where we are. But before we do that, Joe, I need to remind everybody who hasn't already checked us out at whitestake.com that they need to get over there and see what it is the nation does, see what the nation is all about, become part of the White Stake Nation. You can get yourself a day pass if you want to try the content. $2.50 gets you in for the entire day. Get access to all the MLB content, the articles, Cam's cheat sheet, the Y stream, which is a show we do 2 hours before lockout. It'll be Joey and Paulie tomorrow. Another OG show.
Ooh, Paulie, yes. Really? Oh,
yes,
nice.
Joey.
I'm happy with that.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, so like I said, $2.50 for one day. That's just a trial, Once you see the content, you see it's legit, see it's the way you want to go. Get yourself a monthly pass or higher, get access to our Slack, and you'll save some money. It is much, much cheaper to get a monthly pass. And you'll get access to the Slack and chill with the nation. Be one with the nation. Kumbaya. Everything else. Now, Joey, FanDuel, cash games. Where are we starting?
Urias.
Boom.
Put him in there right now.
Let's do it.
So then hitters right now.
Who's like the guy right now? You think? I know you're writing your article tomorrow, so I know you're going to finalize there. But like right now, who you think it is? It Bregman for you?
Right now, I'm going to say it's Bregman or Altuve, one of the two. Yeah. Like I think you can walk in one of those two.
Yeah.
I like it on FanDuel because even if somebody pops up and leading off at mid price, we could still just play Altuve in the utility spot or whatever. Even if it's at second base or whatever, if that value guy is somebody you want to play. So, that's what let's go with Bregman right now.
Bregman. Yeah. Let me ask you about one other stud. What about Mike Trout? Man, King Felix.
I mean, he has such a history against Felix Hernandez, so I mean, I don't think I ever fault you for playing him.
Yeah, like him, Mookie Betts, those guys are just dudes that if you play him every cash, nobody can really judge you. Like if you play him every day, nobody can really judge you. So, okay, I understand why you did it.
I think if I was picking between Betts, Martinez, or Trout, I would go with the Red Sox guys tomorrow just because as old as Felix Hernandez may be, who the F is Aaron Brooks? Watch him pitch a no-hitter.
Yeah, you just put the jinx on him. No doubt.
Yeah. You get my point,
doubt, No doubt. So who we got? We got Bregman, we got Urias. Is that how you say his name? Urias or Urias?
Urias. Yeah, Urias.
Are you serious? Like that? Like, are
Not Sirius, like Sirius, yeah,
like
Urias.
Urias Radio?
Urias, yeah.
All right, who's next? We probably need somebody. Let's find somebody a little cheaper.
I would say maybe Kike.
Oh yeah, there you go. How much is Kike over there?
It's 3,300. He's a little bit more expensive than I like,
Yeah.
and they have him at second base, which is weird.
Yeah.
But they had him at outfield the other day. That's another thing. It's like they change him around so often. It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And they keep Chris Taylor there too. It's like you can't play both of them, and when they throw a lefty. Another guy I might consider is Wilmer Flores. They're always like death taxes and Wilmer Flores against a lefty. So.
If he's cheap, he's got to be cheap though.
He's 2,600.
Okay, he's cheap though. Yeah, no.
But yeah, let's go with Kike right now.
All right.
And then let's maybe an outfielder.
Yeah. Let's go one more guy in there.
Let's go with Pollock.
Because
I had him at
Pollock against the lefty.
Yeah.
All right. I'm pop it over to DraftKings. I'm down to stick with you for now. Like I think Matz is going to end up gaining a lot of traction in cash games because it's Miami. So I'm going to plug Matz in because he's a little bit cheaper. Like I think if we were playing both sites, I would almost want to use that as leverage, like play Urias where he's a lot cheaper. Because 8-7 is an ask for a pitcher that you don't know. I do, don't get me wrong, in tournaments I'm definitely looking at Urias. But unless we hear like definitely going, because your coach, man, no offense, Joey, but your coach, man. Your coach is like the David Fizdale of MLB.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, but I mean, at least I'm a Dodger fan. At least I have a little bit more of a read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I like that.
Just the bullpen's been going, and I just think that I would be really surprised unless he pitches bad. Yeah. Obviously, if he pitches like shit and they pull him after 4, that's his problem.
Yeah, but what you're saying is as long as he's pitching well, they're going to let him go. They're going to let him at least 80 to 100. I can't
see him not going at least 80 pitches, and if he's pitching fine, 80 pitches should at least get him into the 6th inning. You know what I mean? I think. I'm hoping that'll happen. You know,
no, I think that makes sense.
Against Giants too, like I can't see him not. I really like him. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think either or will be. I just think Matz is going to garner a lot of the ownership, and for the example purpose, I'm going to save the $400 and go to Matz because I'm saving money. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, okay.
I'm saving that dough, Joe. You know, from there, I'm gonna be an ass, right? And I'm gonna plug in Javi Baez first because I just want to see how difficult life is gonna be if you try to jam Javi Baez in cash against a lefty, and it gets toy. It gets toy. Let me ask you, you got DK pulled up over there?
Yeah.
All right. DraftKings, you've seen the FanDuel pricing. Who's the guy that stands out to you the most, like from a cash perspective? Here.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at it right now. First, it pops out.
Yeah, just look at all the hitters like that. You know, from expensive wins, and just tell me like you stop somewhere. Like, okay, this guy looks, underpriced, overpriced. You know.
Yeah, dude. There's the pricing on this site is so
different.
I would probably say Chris Davis.
Yeah, it's funny.
He's 4,400.
Yeah, when I was doing my dummy teams earlier, I think they priced down a lot of these guys. I guess because for them, I don't know, because it's price. I don't know, but yeah, I couldn't believe it. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I mean, for what he's done to the guys that are, Tommy Pham is more than him.
Yeah. Oh.
What? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like it's not. Like, those are the price discrepancies you have to take advantage of. And to me, that is where, Crush becomes a great cash play tomorrow. For what he's done at his price against David Price. Come on. Like, what? This isn't 2012, people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't get it. I just don't.
That is cheap.
I like Pollock at 4,300.
You know what we're going to do?
He's got...
Let's plug in a second base, 3,900, Lourdes Gurriel. right? So let's get him so we can start to see if we have money for how many of these guys we can possibly fit, right? Because in this example, we're not using David Price. So theoretically, if we find a cheap enough SP2, we can afford multiple studs, potentially. And I think Lourdes Gurriel can help us get there against Hess. So Bregman or Baez? I'll let you decide. I know you're like, how much is the price difference between Bregman and Baez over on FanDuel?
Oh, on FanDuel, it's like $200.
Oh, okay, it's the same. So they're very, very similar. So I'm assuming you're Bregman, right?
I'm Bregman FanDuel.
But on DraftKings, like, it's the same concept. They're both expensive, and the $100 difference. Like, I think it's fine, right? Like, it's just a matter of, I think.
See, what I would do. You said going with Lourdes Gurriel at 3,900. I would take him out, and I would put Zobrist in there and pair him with Baez
to do like the mini stack.
Yeah, because he's 3,700. He's $200 less than Gurriel.
37.
You're saving money too.
Sometimes, I because I stack so much in tournaments. When I build cash teams, I almost become afraid to stack. Because I'm like, because there are some nights where
you're not supposed to stack in cash.
But like mini stacks have always been fine. Mini stacks have always been fine.
Mini stacks are fine. A full stack though, the funny thing is that I see full stacks more and more now in cash from like pros.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I think it's lazy.
A lot of them are just relying on the projections. And in baseball, that's kind of harder to do. Maybe with the pitching, you can get that a little. With hitters, it is very hard to just rely on that. But a lot of people do it. Like you said, it's just optimizers are going to like a particular team because everybody in that projection got a boost for some reason against that pitcher. Whatever the maybe it was like whether your projections include park or adjust for all these things to give you a little boost from your actual projection. Like at the end of the day, it's going to boost it for your whole team because your whole team is in that same situation. And then next thing you know, it spits out a stack or something like that. So, I do agree. So we got Matz, Zobrist, Bregman. We got 47-1-4. Chirinos is I'm not saying we should play necessarily saying we should play him in cash, but I just saw his name going back to Texas right away. Look at that, and he gets a lefty too. That'll be something. I grab some.
But he's up
in tournaments.
Who's the highest guy in the slate? Jesus, Lordy Almighty!
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm paying all the way down and going to like a guy like Russell Martin at that point.
It's been a while since you had to find a catcher, Joey. Over on FanDuel.
Yeah. It's like huh? So I'd rather just pay down and catcher.
Yeah. Well, how much was Russell Martin?
He's like 3,700.
37. I almost rather take a chance on Ramos, man. He may got some upside. He's 36. Ramos is 36.
Oh, Wilson Ramos. Oh yeah,
buddy,
no, that's
against Caleb Smith. He's a fly ball pitcher. Boom. So yeah, I think you can kind of. We'll leave it there because we got to get out of here. I got to get Joey to bed. Joey's got an article to write tomorrow. He's got a live stream to do tomorrow. Putting Joey to work on tomorrow's slate. So we are going to end it there.
I love it, though.
Just a quick first look. This is a first look, guys. This is a first look. We got a lot of digging to do. Baseball, we have the benefit of a lot of stats, but that requires a lot of research. Joey, this was fun, bro. I appreciate it, man. Getting you back. It's nice having Joey back around regularly, man. I got to say. It is nice. Life is just better when Patio Joe is just around regularly in your life. You know what I mean? Life is just better, Joey.
Well, it's nice after like a long weekend just come here, talk a little baseball. Yeah. Maybe have a rant or two.
Yeah.
You never know.
Oh, it'll come. Rest assured, it'll come. Right now, everything is smooth. Joey won a grand off. He won a grand off $10 on a sport he don't even play. Everything's good for Joey. Joey come in. He got a tough weekend coming up. What did he do? He dominated Friday baseball slate. I'm good. That's what Joey does.
Not as easy, guys. Trust me.
It ain't easy being Patio Joe. You think it's easy?
Yeah.
Not at all. If you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up, that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a like. And a share to support the White State Nation. If you're watching us on Twitch or Twitter, give us a follow, give us a retweet. And if you're listening to us on Podbean or iTunes, give us some 5-star reviews. Help us up those charts. Joey, anything in closing for the nation before we get out of here?
Man, tomorrow's slate I think is going to be kind of crazy. So I would maybe put down your cash to a little bit and play a little more GPP.
Ooh, GPP, Joey. Are we gonna get Audie on the Y stream tomorrow? Are we gonna? I think we're gonna get. I think tomorrow we might get Patio Joe's cash game breakdown, but we might get Audie. We might get Mr. Audie Fulton on the Y stream though. I think that's kind of what it's looking like. But we'll see. For Patio Joe, for myself, the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.